Good day everyone, my name is Roy Carpio and today I will discuss to you the Module 1 which is the structure of globalization, Lesson 3. A history of global politics creating an international order. Okay, so as we all know, the world is composed of many countries or states, all of them having different forms of government. Okay, so in this lesson, we will examine the internationalization as one window to view the globalization politics. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so whenever you hear the word internationalization, what comes into your mind? Maybe you are thinking now about the connection of the world that results in the expansion of the international culture, economics, and political activities, right? Which is all correct. Now, to further understand the history of global politics, let us know first what is a nation state. Okay, so let's define first what is a nation means. A nation is a group of people with a common language, history, culture, and usually geographic territory. Meaning to say, a nation is a place where people have shared some practice, belief, culture in one place. Okay? Now, a state association of people characterized by formal institutions of government, including laws, permanent territorial boundaries, and sovereignty. Meaning to say, a state is considered as organized political community under one government. Best example here is the nation of Scotland. Scotland has its own flag and national culture, but still belongs to a state called United Kingdom. And it is because they are under the association and it's governed by the formal institutions of government of United Kingdom. Even though they have their own beliefs, practice, culture in their places, and have their own flag, but still they are considered as one government under the state of United Kingdom. It is because they are governed by its formal institutions and government. Meanwhile, do you ever think this? If there are states with multiple nations, there are also single nations with multiple states. It is possible or not? Yes, it is possible. Best example here is the nation of Korea. Because if you imagine, Korea is a single nation, but it is divided into two, which is the South and North. That makes them to have two states because of some formal issues, conflict that makes them to separate and have their own government to rule of. Okay, so this nation state is a relative modern phenomenon in human history. When we say modern phenomenon, it is a development that is generally accepted. But different parts in the history of humanity, people did not always organize themselves as countries. Meaning to say, some of the people in various regions of the world have identified exclusively with units as small as their village of their tribe. And at other times, they see themselves as members of larger political categories like Christendom or entire Christian world. Okay, so for the interchangeable term for the nation and a state is that not all states are nations and not all nations are states. Another thing is, do you know that in layman's terms, state refers to a country and its government? Yes, like the government of the Philippines. Whereas the state has 4 attributes. When we say attributes, characteristics, quality over its government institutions. Okay, so one of the 4 attributes is that it exercises authority over a specific population, called its citizen. Meaning to say, some of the government possess full control over its people in a country. Second, it governs a specific territory, meaning to say it is a specific area that is under the jurisdiction of the government authority. Third, a state has a structure of government that crafts various rules that people of the society follows. And fourth, and the most crucial, the state has sovereignty over territory, meaning to say it refers to the legal authority and responsibility of an independent state to govern and regulate its political affairs without foreign interference. In other words, sovereign states have supreme authority over their territory. Okay, so when we say sovereignty, it refers to internal and external authority. When we say internally, it means no individuals or groups can operate in a given national territory by ignoring the state. This means that groups like churches, civil society, organizations, corporations, and other entities have to follow the laws of the state, where they establish their parishes, offices, or headquarters. Now, externally, sovereignty means that a state policies and procedures are independent of the interventions of other states. On the other hand, a nation, according to Benedict Anderson, is an imagined community. It is limited because rights and responsibilities are mainly the privilege and concerns of the citizens of that nation to make up. Okay, so rather the nation allows one to feel connection with a community of people even he or she will never meet all of them in his or her lifetime. Nation and state is closely related because it is a nationalism that facilitates state formation. In the modern and movements that have allowed for the creation of nation-states, states becomes the independent and sovereign because of sentiments of claimor of this independence. Okay, so for the summary, the history of global politics and the creation of an international order is a complex and multifaceted topic. It spans centuries of human civilization and encompasses numerous events, ideas, and power dynamics. Okay, so here is the brief summary highlighting some key movements and concepts. Okay, so first is ancient civilizations. The earliest forms of global politics can be traced back to ancient civilizations like Mesopotamia, Egypt, and China. These societies developed systems of governance, trade networks, and diplomatic relations with neighboring states. Second, the Treaty of Westphalia during 1648. The Treaty of Westphalia marked a significant turning point in global politics. It established the principle of state sovereignty and interference in domestic affairs, laying the foundation for the modern nation-state system. Third is the colonialism and imperialism. The era of colonialism and imperialism saw European powers establish vast empires across the globe. The period was characterized by the exploitation of resources, forced labor, and the imposition of Western political systems on colonized territory. Then after several years, the United Nations, in the aftermath of World War II, the United Nations was established in 1945 to promote international cooperation, peace, and security. The United Nations served as a platform for diplomatic dialogue, humanitarian efforts, and resolution of global issues. Then Cold War and the bipolar world. The Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union dominated the global politics from the late 1940s to early 1990s. It resulted in the division of world war into two ideological blocs, the capitalist West and the communist East, and shaped international relations during this period. Now in the decolonization and the non-aligned movement, the mid-20th century witnessed a wave of decolonization as a former colonies gained independence. The non-aligned movement emerged as a group of nations that sought to maintain neutrality and pursue their own new national interests outside the Cold War power struggle. Then, globalization and interdependence. The late 20th century and beyond have been characterized by increased globalization and interconnectedness, advances in technology, trade, liberalization, and the rise of multinational corporations have blurred national boundaries and reshaped the dynamics of global politics. Okay, so today contemporary challenges is that global politics faces numerous challenges such as terrorism, climate change, regional conflicts, and economic inequality, and the rise of populism. International organizations, alliances, diplomatic efforts continue to play a vital role in addressing these issues and shaping the international order. Okay, so this summary provides a broad overview of the history of global politics and the creation of an international order. It is important to delve deeper into specific periods, events, and theories to gain a more comprehensive understanding of this complex subject. Okay, so that would be all. Thanks for watching.